Australia of mysteries, from the pain of life to enchantment unto death. Australia, the land of the boomerang, the kangaroo, and death magic, is a continent filled with mysteries. Arriving in the New World, we realize that it is different from the places we know. The Australian landscape has not undergone significant modification during the last geological eras, and traditions are so deeply woven into the daily life of the locals that they unite the life of the individual and the aspirations of the community into a single whole. A religious ceremony during which the Aborigines prepare to enter the world of dreams. One of the enigmas is connected with the origin of the indigenous population. On this issue, anthropologists are not unanimous. According to some specialists, the Aborigines descend from the Japanese Ainu people. According to others, their ancestors lived on the island of Ceylon, and still others link them to the Indian Dravidians. Their language is not related to any other language in the world. It is assumed that the ancient inhabitants arrived on the continent about 30,000 years ago. Aboriginal culture is still an inexhaustible mine of surprising information for ethnographers, a strange mixture of sacred symbols and mythology, magic and esotericism. The Aborigines, who now number about 40,000, have completely different perceptions of the world from other people. They revere the past, and their beliefs and rituals are connected with the mythical era called the Dreamtime. A sanctuary of this faith is an enormous rock with astonishing characteristics. One of the deities of the Aborigines. In 1873, the explorer William Gosse discovered in northern Australia a series of dome-shaped rock masses. Among them stood out in size an imposing reddish stone mass, a gigantic monolith over 300 meters high with a circumference of 9 kilometers. At that time, the Prime Minister of Australia was Sir Henry Ayres, so Gosse named his discovery Ayres Rock in his honor. Since then, almost all tourists include in their route the most famous attraction of the New World. At sunset, when the rough surface of the stone absorbs the reddish reflections of the sun, and long shadows stretch between the constellation of fissures and cracks that cover the rock formation, the colors come alive and tourists understand that the several-hour bus journey into the heart of the desert was worthwhile. But they do not realize what the ritual rock represents for the people who inhabited these harsh lands millennia before the arrival of the white man. According to the Aborigines, the stone monolith is a crossroads of the dreaming world, the place where, in the Dreamtime, the peoples of the kangaroo, hare and the diamond python fought among themselves in battles that are still alive in their songs and ceremonies. For Indigenous Australians, the Dreamtime is like the biblical book of creation. The myths recall that when the world was still forming hybrid beings, half human, half animal, carved the great paths that still cross the vast Australian deserts today. They taught the Aborigines how to survive in this hostile territory, where water is scarce, and the sun dehydrates the human body within minutes. Since then, the locals have known primarily the desert. They know where and how to obtain water and food, and live in harmony with the environment. Every Aborigine is a natural dowser and instinctively senses water from kilometers away. The concept of dreamtime is so deeply rooted in the consciousness and traditions of the natives that scientists have still not managed to understand its meaning. The white man named the Aborigines sacred site Ayers Rock, but they know the red monolith as Uluru. Every crack, every wrinkle on the stone has for them a special meaning connected to the universe of the dreaming. A dark patch of moisture on one of the walls, for example, is the blood of the serpent people, and specific rock formations are the face of a sleeping ancestor or the lizard kangaroo searching for its boomerang. Everything around tells the natives about the epic battles fought in this mythical place. The caves of Uluru are filled with sacred rock paintings and signs which, according to legend, were carved by ancestors who lived in the dreamtime. Some of the drawings are intended only for women, others only for men. It is taboo to look into a cave reserved for members of the opposite sex. In the cave of the kangaroo mala, young Aborigines are initiated into the secrets of the dreaming. Tattooed and painted with ochre, they gather before a stone pedestal shaped like an ancestral man-beast. The initiation ritual is particularly harsh and aims to strengthen the character of the youth, who is called to withstand pain, and accordingly, the hardships of life, taboos, and magic are so firmly woven into Aboriginal culture that this strange people seems as if transplanted into our world. Some specialists have put forward the hypothesis of distant contacts with extraterrestrials, which to some extent explains Aboriginal legends of the Dreamtime, as well as the surprising knowledge of Indigenous Australians in the field of astronomy, weapon construction, and others. Death curses and the paintings in the caves of Uluru also fuel the imagination of researchers who support the extraterrestrial hypothesis. In Death Curses, the sorcerers called Nangari use a piece of bone from the front part of a human arm, which they point toward the chosen victim. Sacred symbols are carved onto the bone. Then the shaman sings a funeral song and releases the magic. It does not matter how far away the enemy is. The spirit of the bone reaches him and takes his life. Those who study this subject consider bone pointing the most dangerous of all magics. The curse is so powerful that it always leads to death, unless the Nangari decides to spare the unfortunate person and break the spell. According to some researchers, the Aborigines are descendants of the inhabitants of the so-called Pacific Atlantis, and far back in time Australia was part of the mythical continent of Mu, destroyed after a global cataclysm, isolated for millennia from any contact with other civilizations. When it was discovered in the 17th century, the continent was a virgin territory with a unique local culture that perceived the universe and life far from the dogmas and prejudices of the rest of the world. And although it quickly became land for conquest, the New World has not been assimilated by European culture to this day and preserves its mysteries intact. I am obliged to acquaint you with the Dictionary of Shamanic Australia. Boomerang, a weapon of the Australian Aborigines, that strikes its target and returns. A masterpiece of aerodynamics, the boomerang is made of hard wood and, besides hunting, is also used as a musical instrument in ritual ceremonies. To throw a boomerang is a true art. Bunyip. The bunyip is a demon associated with a mysterious animal that, according to the Aborigines, lives in swampy areas. The beast has the body of a calf, the head of a kangaroo, and a human face. A variety of the monster inhabiting Lake Alexandrina has a human upper body and a lower part shaped like a fish. Another strange hybrid of the bunyip has been encountered in the swamps of Tuckabubble. The creature has a head at each of its two ends and moves forward and backward in both directions. The scream that kills. It is said that some shamans manage to modulate their vocals into a strange cry capable of destroying any form of life within a radius of several kilometers. The art of the deadly scream is jealously guarded by the initiated and passed on to a few chosen ones. A figure of a monster from the sacred rock paintings of Uluru. Moha Moha is another monster that, according to the Aborigines, inhabits some of Australia's lakes. Having seen the creature, Teacher Lovell described it as a cross between a snake, a turtle, and a fish. It was about 9 meters long, and its head was equipped with strong jaws and sharp teeth. Although there is no scientific evidence of its existence, cryptozoologists cataloged the creature under the name Chelosanria lavelli. Mu. According to some researchers, Australia is part of the continent of Mu that sank in the distant past, and the rock paintings in Aboriginal caves are the work of an entirely different culture. Bone pointing. The Aboriginal death magic is one of the most powerful curses. When the shaman points the bone at the doomed person, he surely dies. Dowsing. The Aborigines sense water wherever it is and know countless methods for discovering it under extreme conditions.